Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coldwell Banker Schmidt Family of Companies Introduction to Ohio Relocation. This is your relocation team. I am the director, Dennis Brayford, and I have two very able assistants, Diana Neskova, who is our incoming coordinator, and Carrie Martin, who is our transaction coordinator. And we are located out of the Schmidt Family of Companies office in Westlake. Give you an overview of what we are involved in, basically generating between 1,100 and 1,500 incoming referrals annually, closing roughly between 400 to 500 transactions annually, with a gross commission income average of $3 million plus. And our average sale price, a very healthy $240,000 per unit, and we look for that to continue to increase. We also have a very robust local affinity program. We currently have 20 plus corporate contracts that offer 20% discounts or rebates to their employees if they're using one of our Coldwell Banker Schmidt Family of Company agents. So as a total overview, approximately 20% of our company volume is generated via our relocation connections. To kick off an understanding of the basics, we are affiliated with the largest relocation entity in the world called Cardis Broker Network. Now, Cardis has three arms. One would be relocation. We refer to this as corporate relocation. That's where they have an arrangement with a corporation such as locally here, Parker Hannifin. And they contract with Parker to offer them, their employees, relocation benefits to assist them in moving from one area of the country and to make it as easy as possible for that to occur. So Parker is relocating someone from Chicago into Cleveland. Then we would be contacted and assign one of our relocation team agents to satisfy the buying and or selling needs. Affinity can be described as special kinds of relationships, contractual relationships that Cardis has developed with some pretty hefty corporations. AARP would be one. That's a very recent development, and they have 38 million members that we can offer services to. Relogy Military Rewards for any active military, veterans, or family members of. American Airlines is another entity that we have, the Navy Federal, and we'll get into more details on that as we proceed. The third leg of this triangle, pyramid, whatever I'm trying to say, is our broker-to-broker referral network. And that is composed not just of the 3,000 offices that Coldwell Banker has and the 95,000 salespeople that Coldwell Banker has, but Cardis is owned by Relogy. And Relogy owns the franchise rights to C21 and Better Homes and Gardens and ERA and Sotheby's, just to name a few. And that basically makes it the largest relocation network anywhere. So we can handle corporate broker-to-broker referrals in this large network. And also to mention that we don't just handle Cardis. We do a sizable amount of business with other professional relocation companies, some of which are mentioned here. Give you an idea of the volume comparison. In the top 13 providers, you see Cardis with 30%. And see the others as they are representative. So relocation is a very costly benefit for corporations. On average, according to the relocation or the employee relocation console, it costs $75,000 and up to relocate one employee. So pretty pricey. Now, getting to the basics and defining certain things within this relocation world. One of them would be understanding what an incoming referral is, and that's basically when we receive a buyer or seller as a result of a referral from another broker, corporation, or relocation company. Outgoing referral is when we send a buyer or seller to another broker that's outside of our market area. And that provides basically a listing or buying opportunity in a market area that we are not servicing. A third type would be an intra-company referral. Being that we have 14 offices and 450 plus salespeople, and that's growing consistently, if you're located in Geneva, as an illustration, and you know someone that has a real estate need in Elyria, now that may be outside of your, your knowledge base or where you would be willing to work. So why not then contact us and allow us to refer that particular party to someone else within our local office setup? And that would be maybe North Ridgeville or Westlake that would satisfy or be able to service your Elyria contact. So on outgoing referrals, what do you have to do? You got to keep your eyes and your ears open. Talk, talk, talk. Remember, it's a service you can extend to all anywhere in the US and beyond. I believe we're doing business in 47 plus countries also. So it's no cost, no hassle, no client or agent kind of problem. And the sources are just about anywhere in your sphere of influence. So the broker referral benefits are extra income, obviously, to the real estate agent, expanded service capability, spin-off business. That's one of the most important ingredients in relocation is when we do a good job for someone, that we are then mentioned to someone else, referred to someone else. That may not involve the payment of a referral fee even, but it just expands our sphere and generates additional income for us. Now, the outgoing referral procedures are very simple. We've got to know that they have agreed to be contacted. We don't like to refer someone in the blind. So we need the basic information, understandably, name, address, email, destination, city and state, type of property, price range, etc., and information regarding, their expectations, time frame, special needs, motivation. And when placing an outgoing referral, please be aware that the customer is given permission to be referred, that the customer understands the process. And to place a referral, basically it's easy. Fill out the outgoing referral form in .Lutz relocation folder and share it with relocation@cbschmidtohio.com, or call our number and do it that way. We will do everything that we can to get that outgoing referral process for you as quickly as possible. One of the things is that the agent may request, and most normally does request, that the destination agent assigned to your referral contacts you, the referring agent, before contacting their client. And the reason for that is you can only put so much information on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, but you may know an awful lot more about what the makeup of this referral person is and be able to share that. So when the receiving agent does contact the person that you're referring, they can tell that they were informed about what you are all about rather than starting from ground zero. So follow up with the customer within 48 hours of referral placement and ask if they were happy with the agent selected. It's important to know that they've got a good relationship with them and communicate with the destination agent on a regular basis, so that you can help with any problems that might come up in explaining something maybe to the person, something that they've encountered or whatever. So call our relocation department, of course, to report any problems or concerns that you might have. There is a sample of our outgoing referral form that I mentioned was in .loop's relocation folder on the left. Easy enough to complete and share it with our relocation department. On the right, you see an inter-office company referral form. And that's a good form to use within our company or when we're going outside the system and arranging a referral. We want to make sure that if it's a 25% referral that you have agreed to, both parties, that you're entering into an agreement that acknowledges that. And you can see that there's signatures of referring agent, the referring company, receiving agent, and the receiving company also. Now, some of the requirements for being formally a member of our relocation team. The Caldwell Banker Schmidt family companies, including Schmidt and Booth Realty, have an A team and a B team. And the volume requirement for A team is $2 million. The volume requirement for B team is $1 million. Now, A team basically are entitled to the complete amount or pool of all referrals that come in. The B team is basically set up to handle solely broker-to-broker referrals that we get. So you also must be approved by your office, the relocation department, and the president of the Ohio region, and complete such CARDIS training requirements as might be there at the time. There's no exceptions to that. There's a CARDIS marketing certification that's cost $175 every 2 years, and CARDIS Affinity Specialist Training Program, which is $50 annually. Now, I must note that there are no costs basically upfront to the broker-to-broker training, except for running a background check, and I'll get to that. You must be a full-time realtor for at least the past 2 years for A team and 1 year for the B team, unless otherwise approved. And you must meet and maintain those production requirements, unless otherwise approved. Now, you agree to use the CARDIS network for outgoing referrals, and both A team and broker-to-broker members must have an up-to-date background check. That costs $87.50 and is good for a 5-year period. The referral percentages vary. CARDIS's schedule is currently at 35% on incoming broker-to-broker referrals and 40% basically on incoming corporate and affinity referrals. There is an additional 5% to your local relocation department, and then the agents are paid at a level of 51.5% after that. Now, if an agent is requested, I got to note that you do receive your own split, not to exceed 75%. Now, getting into CARDIS's National Affinity Program. Specific cashback benefits are a part of these programs, or in the case of, say, American Airlines, frequent flyer miles. So it means that if a member of Navy Federal or AARP wants to take advantage of that benefit, that they work with us, and there is a 40% referral paid to CARDIS when they come through the network. And these leads are given to our relocation A team members. However, any agent may generate a referral for these affinity groups by simply registering their client and customer with the relocation department. Now, these agent-generated referrals that you can handle, anybody can handle, are reduced from 40% to 25%, and the agent gets their own split. So there's a real benefit to that. Gives you an example of the cashback schedule for Relogy Military Rewards, and that is open to all active or retired or family members, military members, I'll get that out, But you can see that it ranges from $350 to $7,500 based upon the sale price of the home. And of course, where do they generate that cash reward? It comes basically from the referral fee that we are paying for the privilege of doing business with them. There's another new one that just came out in March of 2020, or rather April of 2020. It's a new program. It's separate from military rewards. It's called a PCS grades. And in military jargon, that's referred to as a permanent change of station. So that is a special community, a formal community of military and veteran families that basically, look for benefits on mortgage lenders, real estate agents, on-base neighborhoods, on-base housing, et cetera, and more. So there you see it launching in mid-March. Navy Federal, huge part of the affinity program with cash benefits from $400 to $8,000. Our AARP program with also cashback benefits affiliated with that from $300 to $5,500. And enrolling in any of these programs, in order to protect our interest, if we can generate it, called an agent-generated referral, then we are asking, inquiring, are you a member of any of these organizations? And are you aware that there's a benefit? And they sometimes will even volunteer that I'm working with Navy Federal. That's where I'm going to go. And they will know that there's a rewards program. So it's, up to us to be familiar with that also. But we're asking and advising, basically, advise the customer to not enroll themselves if they haven't already done that. Because if they've enrolled and it comes through the card system, again, repeating myself, then we end up paying a 40% referral. You will still get to do the business, but the referral is 15% higher than if we register them ourselves using the agent-generated program. Now, leaving that behind, moving on to local affinity programs. Local affinity programs are set up basically within our own local 14 office chain. And that's where we contract with a local corporation to offer a 20% discount to employees, either in the form of 20% reduction of a listing fee or a 20% rebate on the buying side of a commission. And you can see this is a sample flyer as to how we try to arrange that. And we do have guidelines, parameters that we like to follow. And that is basically that the corporation should have at least a 75 member or 75 employees. It doesn't do much good to set up a special arrangement unless there's a good chance of generating some business. The whole purpose of this is to generate business for you. And if you're a founding agent, notice we have a term up there. When these referrals come in, whether they're directly to you because of your contacts or through the relocation department, they first are funneled your direction. If they happen to be in an area outside of your expertise, then we would refer that to someone that could handle it, and you would receive at least 5% referral for every part of related business that you brought in. And there you can see some of our corporations, from the Cleveland Clinic being our largest with 50,000 plus employees, and down to Discount Drug Mart and Mac Trailer, some of our more recent. And you can see the agents that were involved in bringing in that particular part of business. We do try to help as much as we possibly can. And where you see no founding agent, that means that the company has basically set that up, and there's no additional 5% to any founding agent for that. There are two very simple documents, a seller affinity acknowledgement and a buyer affinity acknowledgement. You see three basic short paragraphs. The seller acknowledges and agrees that the broker will credit 20% of the commission to the broker on the listing side of the transaction as follows. So we're going to reduce the amount of the commission in the listing agreement on the listing side by 20%. I got to point out the italicized bolded statement that this benefit may not be used in conjunction with any other reduced commission, affinity program, corporate referral, broker to broker, or employee benefit program. You see that same phrase, whether it's on seller affinity or buyer affinity. The purpose of that is we could have a Cardis referral that comes in, or a referral from any source, and we're obligated to pay 35, 40%, whatever, for doing business with that particular individual. We cannot go ahead and tag on another 20% reduction. That just doesn't make any sense. So that's the purpose of that italicized bold statement that you see there. This is a sample agreement for our local affinity. You can see when you read it how simple it is. You know, it says such of the following, you know, that might be available. The whole secret to this is not so much setting it up, but it's marketing after the fact. If they have an HR website and they will put our flyer and details of our special program on that website, that helps. If they can put it as a part of a new employee package, if you can be a part of company meetings that are there, some way to build this rapport. We currently have one with the Citizens Bank and their wealth management department. And one of our agents from the Beechwood office has been very successful at attending monthly Citizen Bank branch meetings and being able to spread the word there. So you're looking for ways to market it. And that's what it's basically all about. But you can see, again, the purpose of this, repeating myself, is to generate business for you. Now, there we are. And wow, wasn't that easy money? Hopefully you've gotten a little idea of what our department is all about. We welcome additional questions, of course, and additional training and helping you through the process. So once again, welcome to Coldwell Banker Schmidt Family of Companies. And this is Dennis Brayford signing off.